and the importance of butter and how butter was made in Ireland, and pretty much still the way Quinnog in Castlebar make it today. So before this, have a look at the picture there.
Now Carmel's kind of giving it away.
I'm awful sorry.
There's going to be a prize for who can tell me what that is.
It's a very competitive lot here now.
It's a chalet.
99, the 99 from Don McGreevy.
It looks like a 99 from Don McGreevy.
With chocolate chip on it. Yeah.
A chocolate chip on it. Yeah.
Any idea? Can't see it. Hold on a minute now. Sweet or savoury? A bomb. Sean said it.
Sean is the winner.
Hands up. Law of suicide. What is it?
Bog butter.
Bog butter. Many thousand years old, Mary?
This is 5,000 years old. That was found in a bog in Tullamore. So bog butter, why was it in a bog? Bog is an acid environment, low oxygen, damp. It's a natural refrigerator. But why did our ancestors bury butter? Probably to preserve it, to put a nice smoky flavour on it perhaps, or maybe as an offering to the gods, or to keep on the right side of the fairies. So, I mean, sorry, now we Irish didn't invent butter either. Although we are a huge exporter, about 5,000 years ago, allegedly, there was a herdsman somewhere in Africa, set out in the morning with his sheep's milk in a sheepskin bladder, strewn along the side of his horse. He joggled around all day looking after his livestock over very rough terrain. Then he went to have a drink of his milk at the end of the day, but it had turned to a solid. And this solid tasted delicious, hence butter. The transformation of milk into butter. So you can imagine ancient civilizations. How did this happen? It must be magic. It must be supernatural. So back then, when there was no science to explain what actually happens, people believed in a parallel universe, another world. And in Ireland, it was the fairies. So we had a great belief in the fairies and their supernatural power, and we had a healthy regard for them because they were feared. Fairies could make things go very wrong or right. So as I said before, butter was a huge part of Irish tradition and culture. Butter was used to pay the rent. If you left it, going back to medieval law, there are records saying where butter is acceptable as a means of paying your rent. So if you left your butter out, you could liquidate your assets very easy, so better to preserve it in the bog. So when it came to butter making, cows were very important. So cows, on the 1st of February, fairies are very active. So you have to be very careful on the 1st of February. So on that day, the tradition was that you smeared a load of butter, naturally churned country butter, over your dresser for good luck for the year. And then on May Day, Balfana, another very significant day in Irish Celtic culture and Irish culture, the fairies were very active. So if you were making butter, you had to throw holy water over everything that you were going to use in the butter process, your churn, the cows, you had to bless the cows. So it was good luck to throw a horseshoe under the churn. You threw freshly picked primroses on the threshold of the door, and these primroses had to be picked before dawn. Now these rituals, you know, there was a lot of belief in this. If someone called to the house when you were making butter, they had to have a turn of the churn in case they took the butter luck away with them. So butter was huge. So what they did, the butter, the cream was allowed to settle in an enamel dish, something like this is what we have here. the cream came to the top, and then that was ladled off into another container, and that was allowed to ferment for a few days, or just go off as it is. The natural bacteria turned it a little sour, and then you had the likes of this, your churn. This is the traditional churn. This is the churn that Quiniogue and Castlebar originally started making their country butter. Rita told me her dad actually started using this, and they did it. They let the butter ferment naturally beside the fire for a few days, and then they churned the cream. So you could be churning this for 30-40 minutes. Joe, you might be able to tell me a bit about that. How long did it take to churn, do you think?
About 40 minutes.
About 40 minutes. Yeah. Joe has a lovely cottage in Island 80, Jack's Cottage, which he has restored to the old way. And it is just worth going, and it's so authentic. And Joe then has lent me his soda pots. So when the butter is churned, the buttermilk is drawn off, and it is the buttermilk, the acid in the buttermilk, that reacts with the bread soda that causes the carbon dioxide bubbles and causes the bread to rise. Now, Joe's going to tell me how, Joe, I was assuming, Joe, that you had your soda pot such as this. This is what they bake the bread in. And you put it over the hearth, and Joe says, no, you'll burn the ass out of it. So Joe has actually cooked it in his cottage the traditional way. So you tell me, Joe, how it went. Yeah.
This is the triple. You'd have a good fire on. Firstly, you had to go to the bog.
Yeah.
You had to, in the bog, there's 3 layers of trough.
Yeah.
So for the baking, you would have the bottom layer to get the right coals. So you'd have a good fire trough on.
Yeah.
You'd rake out the coals, put them under this.
Yeah.
You put this on. Let it heat up, take off the lid, and then the cook would come along with the flour on hands.
Manure and cheese.
Yes, to test the temperature. Today we have dials and everything.
Yeah.
You take the flour on. If the flour went brown, it was too hot.
Right.
So it had to be just stay white. And then you put in the cake.
Yeah.
And about 40 minutes, put back in the cake.
Yeah.
Holes on the top, and just cooked in about 40 minutes.
Yeah. Excellent. And they say the fact that the lid on it made it so moist and a crusty top, would that be right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Now, the taste as well was completely different.
Yeah.
Because
the turf.
And if you bake in the electric or the gas, the same recipe, put it in here, the taste is completely different. And this one, far ahead of the ones coming over the other two.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So it was I suppose it was the combination of our low protein wheat, the bread soda. The turf fire never got too hot, I suppose. It wouldn't be like a baker's oven. It was that combination that made the perfect Irish soda bread. Yeah. So as I said, the buttermilk then, this was, when the butter had been churned, it was lifted out of this, and then there was paddles like this. Are they called paddles, Joe? No. Yes.
Pats.
Pats.
Pats. Yeah. So there was the butter, as it came out of the churn, was washed in spring water several times, and then it was patted together in this, and brought together and squeezed. Is that right? And brought together and squeezed and put into a little shape, and that was your country butter. That was your country butter. So as I said, this local butter that we're using today is as close as you will get to how butter was made back then. So as I said, butter, we export a huge amount of it. It's a product, we're so proud of it. Kerrygold is the second biggest butter in the US. They have their own brand. So, and would you believe in Germany, Kerrygold butter sells quicker than a litre bottle of Coca-Cola. So Irish butter is a huge success. And it's because, back to our beautiful grass, our cows are fed outside, it just has a unique country flavour, and it's going to make our baking today absolutely fabulous. So Carmel now, we're going to see how we're getting on with our soda scones, and we're going to make the brown soda bread.
They're doing nicely here now. I'm just going to give them a little turn.
Yeah.
Because the ones at the back might get a little browner than the ones in the front. All right, they're nearly done. Another 5 minutes, I'd say. You better know who owns what. Because I'm not going to be referee.
With the labels.
You can't all have the good looking ones.
Somebody wants to know where the barcode is.
the barcode. Okay, we're ready
to give you out your recipes now because you're going to weigh out for your brown flour. No money can this time now.
Advanced now.
So here with the recipe.
So what are we making now?
We're going to make traditional brown soda bread. 5 ingredients. Who remembers what the 5 ingredients are? Flour, brown flour, white flour, buttermilk, bread soda and salt. Is salt important? Yes. Why? What does salt do? Sean, what do you think salt does? I know you don't put salt in your jam. By the way, it's Sean's and Anne's jam that you're having. It's beautiful, isn't it? 200 grams of brown and 100 grams of white. So put the brown into the bowl first because you don't sieve the brown. Sure you don't? No, you don't. No, you don't, so you don't. So just put the brown in.
Do you want to go over here? Jenny is going to take a rest. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
200 brown, 100 white. You've got a recipe there anyway.
Now you don't have to sieve your brown, obviously.
No,
is that right,
you don't sieve the brown, but you do sieve the white with the bread soda and salt, please. It's so easy, and then all you can do is, and you don't have to worry about the liquid because you can 200 mils of liquid.
White flour.
What do you not have, Pet?
Flour.
Oh.
See what it's like.
They're done.
Is it cheating to be reading the instructions?
No.
Lovely, sit that in with your salt and bread soda. Don't forget your salt and bread soda. Now we need 200 mils of pinhead. No, I can have a sugar. Okay, there's salt and pinch, just as a pinch. Are we 200 now? 300 Joe, 300. I'm just checking. So the whole flour
Is that salt or bread soda?
bread soda.
That's bread soda. This is salt.
Did I get bread soda?
Yes.
You have salt, but you have no bread soda.
Is that the bread soda or is that salt?
You know how to make bread, brown bread.
I'm going to watch.
You're going to what? You're
I'm
going to learn.
See how, I'm going to watch and learn.
Keen student.
Yeah, that's it. Keen student today. I'm not going to get my hands dirty. I'm no baker. I'm no baker, but I might aspire to it after this evening.
I'd say very enthusiastic, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
absolutely great.
Really good,
Really
isn't it? Yeah,
enjoying it.
absolutely. The history is great, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, how are we doing? So we have got the bread soda and salt in.
How's the number 2 table do, John? How's the number 2 table doing?
Not really, I can't get at the weighing scale.
Now a teaspoon.
I could do without the weighing scale.
You can do it without. He's a chef.
He's a chef, yeah. You know how to fry an egg, Joe, do you?
What are you waiting for?
Everything, I'm going to the weighing scale.
We're done here.
How are you doing here?
Great.
You're right.
Mighty.
You got the hang of it?
If I can find a teaspoon, that was better.
Who stole the teaspoon?
Okay, you keep it right, so keep it right.
300 milliliters.
Yeah, 300.
Yeah, would you please?
No, we don't.
Oh, no, that's fine.
I think, Ben, you have a heavy hand there, have you? A lot of stuff going in.
I'm not paying for the milk. So.
Is this your flour, yeah? Just your bread soda now. A little bit of bread soda.
So you're Mummy's little helper, yeah?
How we sieve it, yeah.
Mummy's little helper,
Oh,
yeah.
I know.
Yes.
Just that little.
That's the bread soda. Yeah, you threw away white flour now in a minute.
This class is getting rowdy.
Not yet. Wait till you get your white flour. Good pinch of salt.
Are you getting hungry there, lads? Not too hungry. That nice smell isn't getting to you, you know?
The bread sodas need to set the white.
Oh yeah. No, we need to put it the way.
Visual inspection.
No. Civic. Or sorry, yeah. Wait.
And who's this lady here? You look like the boss around here, yeah?
That's right.
Will they do what they tell you? What you tell them?
She just was in sports stage.
Oh, you have it there now. You have it all written out. If I knew you were coming, I would bake the cake.
Yes. Exactly.
Everybody know that song.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't need buttermilk. Put on this.
You make buttermilk.
I love buttermilk.
Will you drink it now?
Oh, I could drink it.
It's not very sour.
Not at all, it's lovely. The taste is beautiful.
Because when we were young, we got a dose of it, so I think we didn't really like it. What's buttermilk anyway?
The fresh, when you turn up the butter, the fresh buttermilk coming out, that's the real stuff.
That's the real stuff. What's left behind? Is it?
What's left behind?
The butter is left behind.
The
and
waste.
The waste. It's the waste, yeah. Tastes like it.
I don't think so.
Nearly finished. You have buttermilk there. It's in the fridge, is it? This is another one.
Did you ever drink buttermilk?
No.
No.
I have a perfect complexion.
Did you?
Don't need it.
Did you drink it or rub it on you?
No.
Oh, yeah. I've done him.
Did you ever drink buttermilk? No.
Fine. You'll have to get Chrissy. You'll have to get Chrissy to get it in.
You want a little bit of flour? I'm not telling you to. I'm only saying tongue. She wants
You get a nice shot of my back, right? You get a nice shot of my back.
I did, Flour your It's great fun, isn't it?
Sugar used to be a swear word one time, wasn't it?
You haven't spoken to Oliver.
Do you like sugar? Do you like sugar?
Do I like sugar? Yeah.
It used to be a swear word one time.
Sugar.
Yeah, oh sugar, yeah.
I said that a few times today.
It's a different expression now, have we?
In more liquid. So it really can change. It's the brown, not the white. The white will more make much difference. You'll be able to leave that. It's gorgeous. It's not really nice. this project when it's ready. As long as it's not pouring.
Now, what are you going to say to him now? You will give him a break.
I think he's done a great job.
Yeah, he's getting good at it now.
Oh, it's great.
He's getting really good. He's a good student, is he?
Huh?
He's a good student.
If you want to 10-year bit on it, beware. Beware. Very well. I don't know.
Now, Dolores, what do you think? Are you going to learn how to make bread and both scones and all that?
I've learned so much this evening.
Yeah.
I've been wasting time using cutters to make scones.
Yeah.
Far more sensible to make a cake and quarter.
Things will never be the same in your house again.
No. It's just wonderful. It's a great evening.
Yeah.
You're taking shape, Joe.
Oh, we have the shape.
Yeah, I've got the shape. No, I've definitely done it before.
A few weeks now. No. How are you getting on? Are you well?
Nice and smooth and everything.
Oh yeah, we have it going well now.
How would you rate it now yourself?
When it comes out of the oven on it, give me a break here. No, give me a break. Wait to get down in the oven.
That's brilliant. Now we need to get them on the table.
No.
Do you have a chef temperament, do you?
Oh, very temperamental, very temperamental.
Do you throw things around the kitchen?
Perfect. Sean, we put this on this tin here.
You want to drop them on the corner? Drop
a milk and he wants to put a little bit of oats on the top.
all right. No.
Just keep it front. Oh, no.
How are we doing?
That's the holy water. That's the holy water, Joe. Is it?
Your one. Looks like that one.
That'll take about 35 minutes. 35.
So guys, which is better, Toastmasters or making cakes?
Oh, that's a very unfair question.
That's a great politician, isn't she? No committing.
You see, for the summer I like to bake cakes, and then when September comes I like to go back to
Right, they're talking again, is it? They're talking. Well done. Mary, you learning anything here? Or could you teach them?
I'm learning a lot, but I'm enjoying looking at others working more than anything.
No, that's not fair. I'll edit that out. You hand out a certificate. You get a certificate here, you do. Well, that's very nice, yeah.
Nice idea.
Yeah, you're professor, you're the professor, yeah. You look like the professor.
Nice idea. Lovely.
So you're issuing certificates, yeah?
Yes.
That bread takes them worldwide, well.
Oh yeah. You see, in the Guinness Hop Store, you can pour the perfect pint. Here you can make the perfect Irish soda bread.
So then, that's it. Yeah, put it on the table. Now flatten it down, that's it. Make a shape, flatten it down a bit more, and you put yours up. Perfect.
Want a little bit more? I like the authentic.
Lovely. That's gorgeous. Perfect. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that beautiful? Now put your cross in it, Joe.
What's the cross for?
Let the fairies out.
Oh, let the fairies out.
Yeah. In or out? Out. Let them out. It helps to rise it. That's lovely. And good boy. Beautiful. Beautiful. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Into the oven.
The oven. And away you go with it. They nearly got burnt, did they?
Another bun. More buns.
More buns.
Those are.
More scones.
More scones.
Scones, not buns.
More scones. More scones.